It's exactly 4 p.m. on Friday, April 7th. There's been a lot going on this afternoon, and it all has to do with the constant disruption and presence of someone who is directly behind that wall in the bathroom of the vacant, empty unit known as Unit 78. Someone has been in that bathroom throughout the morning and afternoon, engaging in some very disruptive behavior whenever I've tried to use the toilet in my bathroom. This started at around 11:15 this morning, continued at 2:30, and whoever's in that bathroom is not trying to be quiet or subtle about it. They are pretty aggressive. They're not, they're not trying to be sneaky. They're just full out smacking the wall, blowing intense, overpowering fumes, and using some type of remote tasering device on me physically that delivers symptoms consistent with electrical shock. So you literally feel like your entire body is being electrocuted or zapped. I don't know exactly what type of device they're using, but these devices or similar devices are verifiably commercially available on websites that sell self-defense equipment and devices, including Amazon. Remote operated tasering devices and stun guns that you can use at a distance via remote control are commercially available. So what I'm saying right now is not science fiction, and it's not my imagination. It is happening. People just don't know about it because they don't do their research. But I just got off the phone with management because obviously whoever keeps getting into the unit behind that wall right there is picking the lock, or they have a spare key. Those are two very easy methods to use to get into a locked unit. And so my solution is to just place a padlock, external padlock, on the outside of that door with a combination lock so that whoever keeps accessing it by picking the lock or by using a spare key can't open the door from the outside. And if they're inside, then you'll find out pretty quickly as well, because they will need to get out at some point. That unit is unoccupied. So I'm assuming they don't have, a whole bunch of snacks and entrees that they can eat if they're stuck in that unit with the door locked from the outside. So that would be a perfect solution, in my opinion. It would not do any harm to the existing door frame because external padlocks just require 3 or 4 screws, and you can screw them on and screw them off. But I just called the office. They said, no, you can't put an external padlock. So that's fine. I will not. I am not a stupid criminal. However, the harassment, I am pretty sure, is going to continue to happen. So my only other option, as I keep saying, is to check into a hotel and then charge management because they are refusing to do anything about the behavior of the person who continues to access that unit, which is pretty evidently the former resident of that unit who just moved out a few months ago and lives one unit next door in Unit 79. So management was making a big deal like, oh, she was moved out of that unit. Yeah, they moved her to the unit next door to hers. So she's literally inches from her old door. She could have made a spare key and be hiding the spare key. How do they know that she didn't make a spare key? Unless they changed the lock, which it doesn't look like they did, she can very easily have kept a spare key. They don't know that she has a spare key or not. So she's letting herself in. She is a psychotic, sex offender, psychopath, cyber criminal. I know it's a lot, but some people are really prolific at criminal activities, and she seems to be one of them. And she compulsively engages in the same exact pattern of harassment, stalking, and disruption as she did during the 8.5 years that she lived in the bathroom behind that wall. Her crazy behavior forces me to play defense to whatever it is that she's doing in that bathroom, and it prevents me from being able to do what I need to do in this unit. So when she's blowing all kinds of fumes, odors, and smoke straight through that wall that fills the area around my windows and around my kitchen cabinets and my stove, I have to open all the windows. I have to go stand out in the hallway. I have to open the door to the hallway. I can't use the premises as I need to. I can't breathe properly. That's the least of what she does. She uses surveillance devices in my bathroom to aggressively and violently smack the wall behind my toilet whenever I do anything in that bathroom to remove items of clothing, either before I'm taking a shower or while I'm trying to use the toilet. And she smacks that wall regardless of the time of day or day of the week. So it happens at like 4:45 a.m., happens at 2:30 p.m. It's pretty much 24/7. This person, during the 8.5 years that she verifiably did live in the unit behind that wall, never worked, rarely ever left the unit. I've always had to work full time to pay my rent out of pocket. And I continue to pay rent out of pocket for this unit. I am not a Section 8 tenant. I never have been. During the pandemic, I worked up through the end of 2020, paid my rent out of pocket all the way through January of 2021, when I ran out of my savings and then had to look for funding to help me supplement what I had been paying out of pocket. So that's my rent paying history. However, this person obviously doesn't have to work at all. She's too disabled or mentally unstable to do anything that requires earning a salary, at least not legitimately. She might be doing crime for pay or something. I mean, maybe she's remotely assassinating people with her zapping device for cash. That's a possibility. That zapping device feels kind of dangerous, so she could be using it on other people to like kill them from a distance, and then maybe she gets paid for it. But other than that, she doesn't seem to have any kind of a career or a job outside of this building, and she has all the time in the world to sit behind that wall and engage in all kinds of surveillance-based harassment based on what I do in the privacy of this unit. And again, at the same time, she's been using some type of device or equipment, presumably commercially available, but I mean, who knows where she gets all her stuff? She smokes crack all day. She gets that from, some illegitimate dealer, I'm assuming. She's been using a device that delivers symptoms consistent with remote electrical shock through that wall, but remotely, so she's not touching me with it. But because I'm just a few feet away from the wall that her bathroom shares with this unit, I guess you can call it her bathroom because she's all the time in there anyway, she's able to deliver these electrical zapping outputs from her device at close range. So I'm trying my best to work with management. But again, if this craziness continues, I will have to check into a hotel. And because I don't drive, I will have to check into a hotel downtown, right off of the Orange Line. And those hotels are expensive. They go upwards of $250 a night. And if management doesn't restrain this person from accessing the unit directly behind that wall, which is a vacant, empty unit, and prevent her from delivering harmful, activities and acts towards me while I'm standing at my sink or trying to use my bathroom or even just lying on this bed, then I will have no choice but to check into a hotel downtown off the subway lines, because I don't drive, for my own health and safety, because they are ignoring my concerns regarding this issue, and they are refusing to do anything to address the behavior of a psychopath who also is a sex offender. And this person is a walking safety hazard to other tenants. And the landlord is just protecting them and ignoring their behavior and letting them do whatever they want, which is negligence. It's also criminal harassment because they know that I'm being bothered, and they're refusing to do anything about the fact that I keep getting harassed whenever I try to do anything in my bathroom or do anything around my sink. So that needs to be noted.